Hey, Decathlon Gamer, welcome back to Pro Cycling Manager 2020 Career Mode episode 142. We're in Vlaanderen for the first of the two Vlaanderen cycling classics of the year. This one is Dwars door Vlaanderen. This is the one that caters to us a little bit better than some of the others. There are cobbled sections, and some of them are late, so it is a little on the worrying side. But all in all, there's not that many cobbled sections to it. They are all on the flat. There's not a lot of climbing, so the riders that we have are suited to this a bit better. Now, race day condition, withstanding, that part's not so great. We could be a bit better off than we are here with 50 kilometers to go. Alves Machado has a +2, Wakinkis has a +1. Everybody else has a slight negative on the race day condition, so the weather is a piece to that. This little climb is going to do some damage. We could see a split or two in the pack, but I would imagine most of it's going to come back together with the distance we have before we get into those final cobbled runs, but we'll see what we could do for that. Right now, so far so good. We are seeing those splits, but again, like I said, it's going to kind of pull itself back together for the most part, but those in the back end are likely to struggle a little bit. And actually, there's 108 riders off the back, and their gap is growing at the moment. Now it's starting to come down. All right, here's the biggest or second biggest climb of the day. It's only 2 kilometers in length and less than 5%. That was pretty easy. There's a little more to it here before the top, but there we go. We go over one more short punchy climb to go, and then a few more cobbled sections, and it's 47 in Peloton, so breakaway has nearly been caught. It's also starting to fall apart, so it's definitely going to come down to the Peloton today. For now, things are inching their way back together, but splits could re-emerge in the kilometers to come, especially as we go over this final climb. That was 1.5 kilometers in length, and with that behind us, we're set up for that final run-in, and just 50 riders here, but it's 30k out, so it's a little early to be doing something. We are going with the sprinters for the ride, of course. Telford, Jorgensen, just not good enough to do anything. Gio is that one who could be a wild card. If he comes in with a good race day condition one of these days, we could turn that into a ride for him type scenario. He's got just enough sprint in him and just enough of a cobble rating where he can outshine compared to the others. Now, when it comes to, like, say, Paris-Roubaix, we have no choice but to go for those guys and just survive, because that cobble rating is going to be so huge. But for here, with just 2 small cobbled sections left to go and just 40 riders in the Peloton and 18 kilometers, liking our chances with the sprinters for a change. Down to 43. Okay, and also getting some guys at the end of their rope. Telford, Theo, Jorgensen, Gel, Wakinkis is the one who's been running solo. Amanatoglu's the weakest on the cobble rating today, at a 69. Wakinkis would be the weakest, but here comes the first attack, and with 13k to go, we need to respond. So we want Reykjavik is the top sprinter. Alves Machado is kind of the top guy on the day, and then we have Wakinkis and Amanatoglu. I want to reverse that. No, I think I'm going to go with this order because of the resistance side of that. Jorgensen's still doing okay. Telford is going to have to give us a quick, hard lead out. Make sure that Krag Andersen, Pedersen, Van Barl, Tischbinu, and Bloom Levy, guy we almost signed for this season. Oh, we get blocked off by Jumbo Visma right there momentarily, but we start covering it off pretty quick before they get too far away from us. Okay, Gel's kicking in, and also here we go into that penultimate cobbled section. It's very short, but also punchy, and those are the dangerous ones. But because we were at the front, We had it covered quite easy. All right, all back together and splitting at the moment. 24 riders. Get Monotoglu ready. It's just 8 kilometers to go, and there's still one more cobbled section. We're going to be going full bore through that. That's it for our cobbled guys, so we need to really be going at full speed. Jorgensen, you can see barely slipping backwards because, well, he's got a cobble rating and Monotoglu does not. 6K to go. Gel up. I've got 4 guys. This is a great opportunity today. What can we do with it? 40 riders here, so it is back together. 4.5K to go. Good, strong, max speed lead out with a sprinters group. 3K to go, and down to 3 riders. Again, looking really, really good on our chances at the moment. 2K to go. Start the sprint for Waitankus. Alves Machado now in the go. And finally, can Waitankus hold them off? Oh, he is going to do it. A win, a second, and a third place. Rajkovic couldn't even overtake his teammates. A 1-2-3 podium sweep. Oh, hell yeah. What a way to start. Dwars van Vlaanderen. We might not be good at classics, but when the classics are kind to us, we know how to pull some results. Next race, Ronde van Vlaanderen. It's going to be a bit tougher of a day for us, but that's okay. We got this one, and we got this one in epic fashion. All right, so we're into the Ronde van Vlaanderen. A lot more cobbled sections, and while there's not a lot of overall undulation, a lot of the cobbled sections are in the undulating sections. So today is a total opposite to what we just did at Dwars van Vlaanderen. You can see right off the bat, here's the first cobbled section, and even though it's short, it's uphill. It's going to present a whole lot of challenges comparatively to what we had on the last one, and this is going to be a more traditional classic. So we flip the tables, and we've got to ride for the guys who are absolutely atrocious in every way, shape, and form, with a single exception being they are rated in the cobbles. We're going to need them today. So Telford, Jorgensen, Gio are the guys we ride for today. All those other riders who just aced it a few days ago now have to take a backseat and ride as domestiques because their cobble ratings, no chance of getting to the end on a race like this. You can see Alves Machado and Moreno already both struggling. The only change from that last race to this one is that Moreno is in, Monotoglu is out. They have identical cobble ratings, but I knew that A, we wouldn't be in it for a sprint today, and that B, as you can see how fast Alves Machado is going backwards, and that's Gio. It's actually been kind of dropped off the pace a bit there. Needs to recover. All right, 111K. This is a good time to get some water. Moreno does have the ability. Alves Machado, if he wasn't as tired, I would send him back as he was the furthest of the domestiques to the back. Well, anyway, Monotoglu, sprint, but has no punch capability. Today, there's plenty of undulation, especially in the cobble periods, so guys with identical cobble ratings, that's 74 mountain, 74 hill of Moreno, even his resistance is better. That's a better option for us, so reason for that switch. But otherwise, this is our cobbled team. This is our group for these kind of races. These are our top ratings when it comes to the cobbles. So yeah, our sprinters, as bad as they are, this group of sprinters anyway, are our better cobble rated guys, besides the obvious ones that actually have a good cobble rating in Telford and Jorgensen. And Gio is somewhere in between. And you can see the pace here. This section, we haven't been in the cobbles in quite a while. I mean, looking at this, our last cobble section was 20K ago, and we've got about 15K until the next one, and yet the Peloton has split. Now, there is a chase group there that is trying to regain contact, but yeah, surprisingly, nothing. And let's get something going here like this. We're going to get water again, even though we just got water a little bit ago. Reason being, we're going to head into absolute chaos till the end of the race, and we may or may not survive to the end on 86K to go with water. Probably not, but it's going to be a lot better than it was at 120 to go, because I don't know when we're going to be able to get water again. This is such a tricky bit. The breakaway of 12 is just ahead of us, so we've nearly reeled them in. You can see Marino is nearly done, and he's left protecting Telford. We've got to cover down now onto these other guys. So we've got Gio and Jorgensen. Wykank is nearly done with the water task, not long before the next cobbled section. And we will get him on protecting somebody. Oh, he's already in on Jorgensen. There you go. Alright, and that task is done. Also, you can see 81s, not even good enough to keep pace. So there's a reason why the riders are getting dropped off. It's not the cobbles that's doing the damage right now, though it certainly inflicted the pain. But falling off the back has been that continuation of pace. Here we go. Next cobbled section, 4 stars, 1.4K on a 2K 5% climb. That's scary. That's dangerous. Telford with a puncture? You gotta be kidding me. Where is Telford? I can't even find Telford. He's all the way up here through all of that. So Marino got dropped. Goodbye. Wykankus got dropped. Goodbye. Rankovic is still here with Telford, but Telford has lost the front group. Gio and Jorgensen left at the front. This is obvious which direction that one needs to go. And 32 riders at the front, and here is Telford. This is Telford's chance to make up some ground. He's a little punchy, but an 84 is not going to do that. You've got to try to keep fighting through these guys. Come on now. 52 in the peloton. It's going to split again. We are not in it yet. You can see now that the groups are constantly changing, but there's Jorgensen. That's the front. No, Jorgensen's not even the front now. So he lost some ground, even at an 87, because these guys can't climb. These guys just cannot climb. Rankovic has been dropped. He's gone. So we're down to Telford, and Gio is falling away, so he's on his own. Jorgensen struggling to keep up with... Okay, he has regained contact. So this is the front group of 13. This is about all we could have hoped for, is a top 13. These guys around us are much better. And you can see our climbing ability is not good. Jorgensen under 70, both on the mountain and hill ratings. Flat rating is good. The +2 really helps today. But Telford is now in this chase group. Needs to continue making his way up. This is 33 chasing 13. Now, the better scenario is Jorgensen, who's now in a front 11 with 5 chasers. And then Telford in kind of a close chase group, hoping that it doesn't come back together. So that's 5. There's 4 in between, and now 13 at the front. 2 more sections to get through this bit. It's going to be a lot easier to get water that one last time with such small groups. 2 stars through that one, so that's pretty easy. And we do drop a couple guys off, though, down to 10. So we're looking at a top 10 now. Telford is in the next... he's around 22nd to 17th is the range he's in at the moment. Okay, Jorgensen, yeah, top 10. Nice. Gio, I thought I put you on auto. Oh no, I tried to put you on protect Telford.
An attack is launched.
Telford. We're seeing a split up here. Jorgensen has somehow missed that split with Van Aert and Rutsch. There's Tish Benoot, who's coming back to help and pull him back in. There you go. We're up to 12 riders now, so 2 riders caught on. Van der Poel went clear. Jorgensen, not much energy. Telford was pulling for this group. There are just 2 riders in between that front 12, so that's 14. So now it's 15 to 21 for Telford in his positioning. Jorgensen, though, struggling with 50k to go. Hopefully we can hang on. We've got a little while before the next cobbled section, but climbing is not his strength, nor is it Telford's for that matter. Jorgensen much more tired than Telford, but Telford a bit further back down the road. In fact, he's almost 3 minutes down now. Vanderpool's still trying to ride it clear with 50k to go. That's not smart. It's not smart. That is going to cost him the day. Alright, the climb part's done. Go ahead and get yourself some water. 47k to go. This will get you to the end. Okay, nice. Telford, how about you? We're now in a group of 8, chasing the 2, chasing the 12. So this group's gotten a little bit larger. Gap is actually opening as Vanderpool keeping the pedal down, but we are starting to recover. So Jorgensen has recovered some energy, and here we go again. He is at the very back of this thing, and that's not where I want to be as we enter a punchy cobbled section. So move up, moving on up. Alright, right to the front, 4 stars. Not trying to drop anyone, just trying to not get dropped. So it's okay if we slide back a little bit through this. And it's also okay if we sit up now. Verbracken immediately rides off. But Jorgensen nearly out of energy. We dropped 1 rider, so we dropped 3 riders actually. Now it's 7 chasing 2. So again, continuing on with that top 10. Telford's group is down to 6, and we're catching a couple of those guys that were in the front. Now we're down to 4, so his position improves. Here we go again, Jorgensen. He recovered slightly through that.
The Entente in the escape group is far from cordial.
Getting blocked off, no progress. Pollitt sits up. Pollitt's spinning. I know how that one feels. We're back up to 11 as a couple riders regain contact, but Jorgensen stuck behind Pollitt, who you'd favor, but Pollitt's not much of a climber. Alright, still in the group, 8 riders chasing 2. So we're back to 10 riders in contention there, and Telford, meanwhile, is still in this chase group back here. We kind of miss out on all those opportunities for him to move up through the cobbles, but again, not a climber either, so for him that's difficult. Okay, we've got a punchy climb and then 2 more cobbled sections, both on hills. The front 2 now have a 2-minute gap. Vanderpool and Verbracken are going on to win this thing. That little gap where Jorgensen sat up and Verbracken just kept riding quickly turned into 2 minutes. Jorgensen did not have the energy, though, to do what Verbracken did.
A rider has just fallen.
Telford no longer has the extra energy to spare. Verbracken's trying to attack Vanderpool, who's been riding solo for a long time. Gap's out to 220 now. We are not riding for the win, but we are absolutely in obvious position for a top 10.
Yet another flat tire. It seems to be catching.
And Telford is in that chase group, so you got 10 front and above, 1 rider in between. So we're riding for between 12th and 19th with Telford. But he does not have the energy any longer to do something, to attack. Okay, Jorgensen, here you go. Get up there. Sit up again. Okay, and try one more time here. We were a little too early on that. This is just about being near the front. I thought this looked familiar. This is that same one from before. And we're coming up on lapping riders. Spinning like Pollitt was when we nearly got dropped.
With a flat tire. The road is really treacherous.
Okay, switch it up.
Plays a vital role in any race.
Just try to set on.
Its contribution can be vital.
Nobody's been dropped. There are a couple riders really struggling at the back end. It'd be really nice if a couple of those guys fell off, but you can see Tish Benut just hanging on. There's Zeta.
15 kilometers left.
There's Telford, the last man from that group. Zeta's the man in between, and then Now, solo is Telford trying to get to the end. We need gels for both of these guys. This is the last cobbled section. This could drop Jorgensen off, though. It looks like Asgreen might go clear. Jorgensen, the climbing part has gotten him dropped off the back. We've got a minute 16 gap to Zeta. If we can just get back in the group, there you go. We'll be guaranteed top 10, but now I don't know what kind of energy he's going to have for the finish. 11K to go. Telford is riding solo, and let's just go 99 to the end. He's already through it. He's got 30 seconds to a few chase riders, the riders he had left behind. 8 kilometers to go. Top 10, but can we make that a top 5? Jorgensen has no sprint. He's a 61-64. With +1 and +2, meaning he is not going to do anything in that regards. And that's why we never really ride for these guys, because when we do, well, you could do something like what we've done today. He's on a +2, and that was just enough to get him in the final group. But you can see, here comes the attack, and Tish Benut is with him, and everybody else is riding away going for the sprint. And that's 3 kilometers out, and Jorgensen can't even leave Benut behind. And now he's attacking us, so we're going to be 10th place. And you see, there's literally nothing Jorgensen can do. He is left in the dust. At least he made it in the final group. Other than Vanderpool, who went off, took the win ahead of Verbracken. Those two got clear, but Van Aert, Doom Levy, Pollitt, Glass, Dool, Asgreen, Tish Benut, and then you're going to take 10th place. Zeta is going to be 11th, and here is Telford coming to the end. 1K to go. He's only 9 seconds ahead of this chase group. They're going to fly past him, so he is not going to hang on for 12th. That's Youngles. One more ahead of him. He'll be 14th. Wendling, Telford 14th. So, top 10. We got a top 10. That's the harder classics. That is a really good result for as bad as we really are. Jorgensen and Telford just, they can get through the cobbles better than most. Certainly not all. And there's riders in that top 20. Dylan Van Barle down in 18th as a perfect example of somebody who has a really good cobble rating but did not have a good day. So we beat some of those. We beat plenty of those. And we beat most of the field that just wasn't as good. But as for getting an actual result, you could see how Jorgensen is exactly where he belonged. There was 2 riders off the front. There was a group of 8 chasing. He was in the front group, which that's a bit of a miracle in itself because Telford was more along the lines of where they should be. So Jorgensen hanging on was great. But when it came down to the finish, he's a 61 sprint. He had literally no chance, none whatsoever, of beating any of those guys. In fact, they easily left him in the dust in those final kilometers. So we're never going to get a big result from those guys like we did at Dwars van Vlaanderen, where we took a 1-2-3 because we were able to get those guys through. So we can get a big result if we can survive. But in this type of race, all we're going to do is survive and then be literally last in whatever group. And their ratings aren't that good. They're not going to beat Vanderpool, Van Aert, Pollitt. Those guys are going to beat them every day. So Paris-Roubaix, it's going to be same tactic, but we're not going to ever win anything with Jorgensen or Telford. And a top 10 is the best that they're ever going to pull off, and this was very much case in point on that. The other group can win on their day, or they can finish in 40th or 50th. So there's that piece, right? All or nothing with that group. This group, a mediocre, okay-ish result every time. Pick your poison. So we're into April, and not only so far so good on the season, but we're really hanging in there. In fact, we've kind of stretched our lead a little bit. Ineos and Jumbo-Visma are just 4 points apart. UAE, just over 100 behind. even down to Duquesne, it's less than a 500 point gap. EF up there, but we have a 1,400 point lead right now in the World Tour rankings. In the Super Prestige, the gap is not as large, but it's still there. 300 point advantage. So right now we are leading the way. It's been a good year so far. We're not getting every result. We certainly lack in a few areas. We still have not built up a large team. We are still on a very tight budget and set up for kind of a world of pain if we lose Rodriguez for next season. But it's nice to see. It's nice to see. Last season we were pulling 4th, 5th place, and that felt really good, and that was amazing progress from where we've been. I figured we could compete for a podium position Super Prestige this year. I did not think we would be at the top at really any point of the season, but we have led pretty much the whole way so far. Plenty of seasons still to go. We're just a few months in. It's still early days, and there's a lot of points out there on the table. But so far, so good. We've already bagged quite a few wins this season. 11. Not the only one to have that. I mean, you can see quite a few teams already on 11 victories, but that's nice. Really happy with the season thus far. That's going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button, and I'll see you next time as we take on the Hell of the North. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.